In this video, you're going to go through a quick challenge. Basically, you would need to create an empty array and then using a for loop, insert 3 functions logging their corresponding index inside the array, meaning that the function at index 0 is going to log 0, the function at index 1 is going to log 1, and so on. So you would need to provide the solution in both ES5 and ES6. So I suggest starting with ES6 because that's the easiest one, and then moving to ES5 just to make sure that you master closures in ES5 as well. So I suggest pausing the video here and then coming back once you're done. So hopefully you managed to find the solution. So let's create a variable, cars, for example. So that's our empty array. And then we're going to have a for loop. I'm using let here for the ES6 syntax. And then the condition is I less than 3, and we increment I by 1 every time. So we're going to store inside our array. So we're going to set the elements at the index I to a function. So our function logs I like that. So let's check if this works. So we're going to call the function which is at the end index 0, and then the one at index 1, then index 2. And every time we get the right results. So we know that this is going to work because every iteration of I will create a new lexical scope, and we get the right value of I stored every time. Now in ES6, it was a little bit more challenging because we had to use closures. So let's create another variable, cars2. Let's call it bikes. And this time our for loop is going to be done using var. So we initialize I to 0, and then the remainder is the same. And then we set each element of index I to a function. So now we know that this is not going to work because in ES5 we will keep in memory only one value of I, and that's the last one, which is 3. So we need to use closures. So we're going to have to create a function right there, and then instead of setting the value of our element to a function expression, we're going to call a function. All right, so that function is going to be declared like this, returning a closure. Like that. All right, so now let's call bikes 0, bikes 1, and bikes 2. So something has been missed there. Okay, and we're getting the correct values every time, and that's working thanks to closures in ES5. But you can see that using ES6 with let is a lot easier.